Let's freaking go! Two of the most disappointing teams last year were Arkansas and Texas A&M, and I believe both Sam Pittman and Jimbo Fisher fell victim to one thing that both of them struggled with last year, and it's going for it. Yes, it is very simple. Teams love to kick the football way too often, and you should want to avoid punting and kicking field goals as much as you possibly can. And I know a lot of you say, well, duh. Of course you want to score touchdowns and points and keep possession as long as you possibly can. But the simple truth is there are some coaches in the SEC who are way too conservative on fourth down, and their decision-making can actually affect what happens on third. So, this is a Missouri game last year. Of course, Arkansas last year, their win total was set at 7, and this game was a tightly contested game. Now, there is a lot of blame for what this sequence actually ended up being for Arkansas, and a lot of it was on some very bad red zone play calling from Kendall Browse. He is now no longer at Arkansas. But right here, it's 4th and goal in the fourth quarter. I believe that Arkansas should have gone for this. Boom! I'm looking at you. Yes, you right now. So, there's obviously a lot of different schools of thought there. Obviously, if you kick a field goal, it's only a 2-point game, but you're still in the same spot. You got to get the football and drive down in the field goal range and kick a game-winning field goal with the kicker who had been shaky in big spots, obviously like the Texas A&M game earlier in the year. Now, you're looking at a team that was actually worse than Arkansas on fourth down, and this has been massive at Texas A&M, how bad they've been on third and long, and even on fourth down, their actual fourth down conversions are really bad. So this was something that I brought up quite a bit with Jimbo Fisher. On these 3rd and 10 situations, especially in plus territory, you're down by 10, so you know you're going to go for it. Something that I always see Jimbo Fisher teams do is run everything deep. Okay, we saw this in the Appalachian State game as well, and with a freshman quarterback, as you can see, this pocket collapses because this defensive line knows, hey, he's got to sit back in the pocket and actually throw this ball deep. So the defense is ready for it. As you can see, they're playing too high safety. You can't see the safeties here, but you're able to play off and just kind of sort of catch these routes, and you make life difficult on your offensive line because your defensive line's able to just tee off. Now, that should never happen, but Wigman just has to throw this thing, right? But notice there's nothing hot. There's nothing that he could just throw quick, and this was only a 4-man rush. So Ole Miss didn't have to do anything spectacular defensively because guess what? Lane Kiffin knows he's trying to get all the yards. Okay, the only thing short was a longer developing in-breaking route right here from 9. And, of course, you just got to throw this football up to Moose Muhammad. Here we go, 4th down. Guess what? Play clock runs all the way down, and this time they rush 3, drop 8 with the QB spy just to make sure he can't scramble for it. Once again, at least give him something in breaking short instead of just a little flat route. And even with the clean pocket, everything is just covered, right? It's just that much harder to convert a 4th down in that scenario. Now, of course, you don't have all 22. Maybe there was something else that was open, maybe something at the bottom here. So maybe there was. But as you guys could see, 4th and 10 is hard. Now, earlier in the game, they had some other 4th down, 3rd down management that I thought was a little bit better. But look, A&M was just bad all around when it comes to 3rd and 4th down conversions. So let's actually show some data to back everything that I've said up to this point up. And let's cue some music because, of course, the charts can get a little tedious. As you can see in the background here, from Jared D. Lee, one of my favorite analytics accounts, this is his fourth down model and what he saw this year from SEC teams when it comes to correct and incorrect fourth down decisions, okay? So let's scroll down a little bit, and as you can see, Georgia was rarely ever in this spot to begin with, which is a very good thing. But if you look all the way up here, the two teams by far that lap everybody in the SEC when it comes to win probability loss per game on fourth down decision making, Texas A&M and Arkansas. And they're the only schools, according to Jared's model, that made over 10 incorrect decisions on fourth down. Okay, as you can see, LSU was number 3, but according to his model, they only had 6 incorrect decisions on fourth down. And as you'll see, Texas A&M is in a league of its own in all of college football when it comes to not being aggressive enough on fourth down. Okay, so the problem is not only Texas A&M not aggressive, they are just bad on fourth down conversions, period, right? As you can see, fourth down conversion rate above expected. So Arkansas's a little bit better. As you can see, Missouri could have been a little bit more aggressive on fourth down. I wouldn't worry too much about Georgia because they're so dominant. They're rarely in fourth down, so their sample size is going to be that much smaller. But you do see Arkansas on the lesser aggressive side of things, and I do think Pittman overall was better at this than what he was in 2021. A little bit of a different chart here, but as you can see, Texas A&M on the lower end of when they should go for it on fourth down, and Arkansas in the middle of the pack. So what that would tell me if I was, an analyst for those schools is just be more aggressive on fourth down. Now, one final thing on this chart right here, I want you to see the teams that made the fewest incorrect fourth down decisions and see how good they actually were last year. Georgia, only 2 incorrect fourth down decisions. Once again, very small sample. They performed above expectation. Tennessee, only 4 incorrect fourth down decisions. Performed way above expectation. South Carolina, only 5 poor fourth down decisions. Above expectations. 6. Once again, LSU. Yes, a lot of win probability loss per game. One of these decisions was heavily influenced by a fourth down punt that Brian Kelly said he normally wouldn't make at the end of the Arkansas game. We could get into a debate about that. Still, he only made 6 incorrect decisions, and that one decision actually weighted. So he knew that he was giving up a ton of win probability according to his model. Missouri, only 6 incorrect decisions. They were above their Vegas win total. So it's not exactly apples to apples. Obviously, Florida did not have the season that they expected that they were going to have. But I am just of the belief, be aggressive. Yeah, that's why the cheerleaders say it. Be aggressive. Boom! I'm looking at you. Yes, you. So, if you look at that chart a little bit closer, there is a category he called toss-up, which honestly makes it a 50-50 decision whether or not you should go for it. It's not overwhelming any other way. So the first thing I want you to see on this final little bit here, we're going to discuss Nicky Saban at the end of this one. This play by Johnson, the DB, for him to get underneath this block versus Latu to get a piece of Jahmyr Gibbs is freaking crazy. That slowed Jahmyr Gibbs down. I look at Drew Sanders and the rest of this Arkansas defense stop Jahmyr Gibbs short of the line to gain. But it's 4th and inches, okay? Not even a full yard. As you can see, this referee is marking this inches, all right? Nick Saban here elected to punt. Now, traditional logic would say, look, our backup quarterback is in. Let's go on ahead and punt this football away, and let's play field position. We're up by 3 scores. But as many Arkansas fans know, Arkansas would go on to score a touchdown, flip momentum, and this eventually would become a 1-possession game, okay? And I thought this was a bad decision by Nick Saban. 4th and inches converts at about a 70+% clip. So I would just go for it. Don't even give the football back to KJ Jefferson, who is very deadly. So I hated that decision from a fourth down model standpoint. And I think over the years, Nick, when it comes to fourth down decision making, Alabama's so dominant, they're rarely in that spot. But as their dominance has faded last year, and I think to a certain degree this year, these decisions become that much more relevant. Okay? So, what is our major takeaway from today? There are so many different that you can make. Okay? So, the first thing I'll say here is you saw on that chart, once again, there was a toss-up category where, once again, it could have gone either way with the fourth down decision, whether to punt or kick. So there is a lot of toss-up decisions, and it's not just some chart, right? There are more things that go into a decision whether or not to go for it. This is one of my favorite play designs right here. Fake the bubble, but then hit one of the blockers of the bubble on a slant over the middle. And I want you to see where KJ actually puts this ball. Okay? He hits Knox right in stride to where he doesn't even need to stop running. I love it. But yeah, I just think aggression on fourth down is something your team can get behind, right? You're playing to win. And I love that. I do. And one thing I saw from a team that I cover really closely, LSU, is their third down decision-making was so much better to help make their fourth down decisions better, right? Whether it's third and long, sometimes running the football on third and long is a very smart thing to do to make it a manageable fourth. And who knows, you might get all the yards on a third and long on a run. That's something that LSU did a lot of last year, and it, quite frankly, won them the Alabama game, and it helped them blow Ole Miss out in the second half. So the coaches that think ahead, that don't think, hey, it's fourth down, let's go punt. And look, I'll say this, we got a lot of Arkansas viewers on the channel. Pittman was better at this than he was the year before. So, look, I understand games are just not played on a chart. There are so many different factors. Is your quarterback hurt? Is your special teams unit one of your better units on the team? What's the weather like? There's so many different things that coaches have to take into equation, and that would be what a lot of traditional coaches would say to what I put out here today. But the bottom line is, in general, teams are way too conservative when it comes to fourth down. And there are instances where teams can be a little too aggressive. Lane has shown that over the years, but I do think Lane, for the most part, is justified with some of his fourth down decisions. So let me know what you guys think down below. If you would like another deep dive such as this one, let me know. Okay? So I actually have a few other videos on this topic, all right? Floating in your face is a Texas A&M video from the Appalachian game from earlier in the season. Boom. And for you Arkansas super diehards, I actually did the same version of this video last year where you could see in 2021 where Pittman was not great at fourth down decisions at all.